This is one of the case which has been narrated by so many YouTubers. Many books have been written, many documentaries and movies have been produced based on this incident.
Kaikkien näiden vuosien ja tutkimusten jälkeen murhaaja viekässä satki.
Today's episode is one of those cold cases which are till this day are remained mysteries. For over 60 years since this incident was occurred, a triple homicide murder case till this day is just an unsolved mystery, the Lake Bodom murder mystery. Well, I am Zarsipra. Welcome to another episode on the shocking mystery, a mirror. Oh wow. If you really can smell, this coffee is purely heaven. It's so beautiful. This is so amazing. Oh my God. 4 teens. 4 of them. All are teenagers. Sapo, Anja, Mela and Nil Gustafsson. They decide to spend an overnight relaxing time on one of the beautiful lake in Finland, which is located in the city of Espoo in Finland, which is 3 kilometers is in length and 1 kilometer is in the width. They gone there on their motorbikes. 2 couples, all are the teens. Anja and Mela, they are 16 years old, and Neil Gustafsson and Sapo, they are 18 years old. Decide to have a camping night in the Lake of Bodom. They are very happy. Mela, who also wants to celebrate her 16th birthday, and so this is another reason go to this spot. Now this spot, this Lake Bodom, is a notorious lake, already famous for these kind of activities. Near the lake there is a one kiosk, or there is a booth where people, they sell snack, and the lady in the booth, it's like she is the owner of the kiosk. Neil and Mela go there to buy some snacks to enjoy while they spend time in their camp. And they ask the lady, they are here to buy some beers and some snacks, and lady looks like she is not very welcoming them. She asks them, are you camping here? When they say yes, we are camping here, she doesn't look very happy, and then she, in the sense of warning them to go away from this place. As I have already heard numerous stories about this notorious lake, and many incidents have been occurred, but they are very happy. They do not want to ruin their time, ignoring her warning. So they went back to the campsite. They haven't installed the camp yet, but they are playing there. The lake, they swam there and they talked there, spent some time, and then finally they decided to install the camp. When they already built the camp there on the lake, because they are very tired for the whole day, they've been playing around as the sun is already down and they already have the dinner, and they decide to go to sleep. In the middle of the night, as you see many YouTubers scary encounters. Similarly, Neil, he feels that somebody is around the camp and somebody is walking. There is a cracking wood sound around his camp, and he opens his eyes. He tries to wake up his buddies, and then one of them, he says that, can you hear somebody's walking around? Mela tries to pay attention if she really can hear, and yes, she heard somebody was walking around the camp. After a while, the sound was gone and Mela gone to sleep. He decided to go out to check with his light if he can find somebody is really walking around. Maybe it's an animal, or maybe somebody is, maybe some man or somebody is, stalking them. He goes out.
Mä oon niin pettynyt teihin. Varsinkin suhuatte.
He tries to find if he can see somebody. He doesn't see anybody. So after some time, he comes back. So he comes back. Everything is normal, looks normal. So they all gone to sleep. Now, actually, what happened in the morning? People, when there is a sun is rising, people they come. Remember, this is 1960s of time. This is 60s. People they don't have cell phones. People they don't have those fancy cameras. So people used to go into those locations with the binoculars to watch the birds. Now the group of boys, they are watching the birds, and then there is some say there was a man with his little kid. They were going there, and that man, he saw the campsite. The camp is already fallen down on the ground. It is like a flat surface. Now it was strange because it looks like somebody has messed with the camp. So he gone a little bit more further. He stopped his son to stay there. What he saw terrified him, shocked him to the core. He came back and reported to the police. Another stories, they narrate the people of the group, they were watching bird with the binoculars. When they saw the camp is down and there are some bodies around the camp, and they got suspicious, they got scared, and then this is how they reported the police. The bottom line, police came. When police came, everybody was horrified. Mela, who was Neil's girlfriend, she was on the top of the tent. She was half naked, and then she had almost 15 to 16 deep stabs. When there was an autopsy, even when she died and after her death, somebody kept stabbing her. Now, Mela had the most of the brutal stabs, and she's dead on the top of the tent. Now, Sapo and his girlfriend and Neil all are dead, burned down, because somebody after killing them stabbed them to death, and then they burned the camp, and the camp was fallen down on the ground. Meanwhile, the investigators, they were checking around the surroundings. Now there are few theories were very confused. Remember, this case has never been solved. This is till this day, this is an unsolved murder mystery, triple homicide mystery. Why I keep calling triple homicide mystery? Because while the police and the investigators, they were checking all the things, and all in sudden, Neil Gustafson, who already have his jaw broken multiple times on many places on his face, and he was unrecognizable. And you can imagine the intensity of this, you may say grudge, or you may say the crime. Somebody not only stabbed them, somebody brutally assaulted them and then killed them all. He opened his eyes, shocked one of the officer, and then they realized he is still breathing. So he was sent into the emergency. The paramedic came, and then they sent him to the emergency. Now, the theory, the speculations, this case has so many speculations and theories. And like, if somebody was with the intention to rob them, so he could have their valuable things with them, should be gone. But hey, no, those motorbikes were still there, but the keys were gone. Having all these things, police started to investigate. And remember, there was a group of people. They were watching bird with the binoculars. When they reported the police, they also added they saw one man, like 30s, in his 30s, with blonde hair. He was running from that campsite where this crime happened, this homicide. Police, with the help of those people who saw that face, they draw a sketch, just like this is a normal routine. When the investigators, they want to find somebody, they draw a sketch of the suspect. When they draw the sketch, and then they started distributing the whole Finland. Now you will be surprised, 4,000 people or suspects, they were interviewed. And you can imagine how many people they were being called for the interview, because that sketch was so much similar to so many people. So it didn't have that uniqueness that people, the police or the investigator, they could find the suspect and catch him. But 4,000 people were being called and interviewed then, and police, none from them could capture the real suspect. So eventually they started to let them all go. And this is how this case started to go to the cold storage. 40 years. Now remember, Neil Gustafson, he had broken jaw on many places from his face, but he survived. And police was waiting for him to wake up and tell what he witnessed at the time when this incident happened. Now, when he woke up in the hospital, and the team of the detectives were sent to interview Neil, he said he saw there is a tall, dark, shadowy figure with the red, bright, glowing eyes came to their tent, opened the tent, and this is all he remembers. Rest of the story, maybe it's a memory loss, he doesn't remember anything, only this thing he remembers, and then finish. So police or investigators, they noted down this information, and then they thought maybe his mind is playing with him, he has like a hallucination, or maybe he's seeing some kind of images or making up, or brain is telling him something which is not possible. But also remember, this Lake Bodom is already famous for being these kind of incidents. Now, after 40 years, all in sudden, police arrest Neil Gustafson. At that time, in 2004, he was already 62 years old, and he was working as a bus driver. And you can imagine, after 40 years, police is arresting him. Now, the jury, they came along with some evidences, with their proofs. Now remember, there was a lady in the kiosk, the booth, who was selling the snacks. She said when these kids, they came to buy some snacks and beer. Neil Gustafson and his buddy Sapo, they had a great fight for the girls, and they were very angry, and most likely Neil had this grudge, this hatred, and he maybe he wanted to take revenge, so that's why he killed all of them. And most of the case, because he had so many doubts on Mela, his girlfriend, so he gave so many stabs. Another theory was his shoes were gone missing. At the distance of 500 meters, it was dug, and under the ground, his shoes were there. There was a blood on the shoes. There was no any blood inside the shoes. But remember, they were all stabbed. They were all brutally attacked by some forces, by somebody. They couldn't prove that after killing all of friends, all three of them, Neil had that energy. He goes back, hide his shoes underground, and then he came back, and then he started to beat himself, and even broke his jaw multiple times. The court couldn't prove everything. So after 1 year, in 2005, he was released. Not only this, the government of Finland, they paid him 44,900 pounds for his mental suffering. There are so many speculations, so many theories about this case. One of the theory was, remember when police draw a sketch of the person, the man who is around his 30s and he's a blonde, they captured a man, and they discovered when they gone back to his history, they studied, they learned his history. He was a German soldier, he was a German Nazi before, and then came to Finland, and he naturalized as a Finnish citizen. He is a history filled with violence. But when this incident happened, he was with his family 15 miles away from that location where this incident occurred. So he was also got free. And then there was another theory. Remember, there was a lady in the kiosk or the booth who was selling things to those tourists or those people they wanted to spend time on the lake. Her husband had a history of violence. He attacked on people. He used to throw stones, rocks on the tents. So one time he tried to shoot somebody with his rifle, and luckily he got away. So he was interviewed, but also there was no any proofs, so he was released. Another speculation was his neighbor. He came forward. His neighbor came forward and he said when this incident happened, after some time, he was drunk and we were sitting beside the lake and we were enjoying the time. And then he confessed with both words, "Don't you remember? Don't you understand? The triple homicide, I did it. I killed them." And his neighbor who came forward, he said, he is talking to him and he said, "You should shame to yourself what you have done. You should drown into the lake." So the next day, they found his body drowned in the lake. Maybe he couldn't bear that pressure. He was keeping that memory. He was keeping that pressure in his brain for a long, long time. He had committed this crime, but he couldn't bear that. When he heard his friend, his neighbor, he's telling him, "You should be drowned in this lake. What you have done to these families." So very next day, people discovered his dead body in the lake. He was drowned. But unfortunately, it was already too late. So this is how this case, till this day, is remained a mystery. Nobody could solve, nobody could, and still in this cold storage. And let's see in the coming future if we hear anything more updates about this case. So today, this was a story about this case. If you're a fan of dark, mysterious, and true crime, horror stories, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you have your own story, you can send it to me on my Instagram. As always, please take care of yourself and your surroundings. I'm Muzar Sipra. Until next time.